What's up, everybody? Welcome back to KD&D, the show where we talk all things Dungeons & Dragons. Tonight I come to you inspired. I just saw a video that has my imagination buzzing for a new idea for a D&D game. And it combines two fandoms that for some really weird reason, I'm sure I should have known about this before. I can't believe I didn't. But people have been talking about the concept of crossing Avatar: The Last Airbender with Pokemon. It was right there in my face all this time. So tonight I'm kind of recording as I go through and take a look. I want to take you through my ideas for what this could potentially look like, and I'm going to start with the video that I saw. This was on another video sharing platform. So we have Aang with Lapras. That's the mega evolution of Pidgeotto. And Torterra. Oh, and he's got a little Chimchar on his shoulder. Oh, because he's got one of all four. That's so perfect. Alright, so I don't want to play a bunch of the music because I don't want to get my video struck or anything. Katara with something with that thing. Evolved from Seabass. Golduck and Vaporeon. So cool. Water, objectively the best element. Fight me on that in the comments. Sokka with, are they all normal type? Clearly all fighting of some sort. I know Talonflame. I really only know him because of that Pokemon Unite. But anyway, is this a Oshawott thing? I didn't really play those games, so I don't know those things. I have no idea what the dog guy is. Toph with some ground types. Sandslash, Machoke, Graveler. There we go. All Gen 1, something that my boomer self can relate to. We have... Whoop! I like it. That was Kyoshi with some stuff. Anyway, you get the picture. Okay, so what I'm thinking about immediately is there's this Kickstarter that was out, gosh, I probably backed it a year plus ago, maybe more. But Avatar is in the works of releasing like an official tabletop role-playing game. And I think I already have access to the PDFs, have not taken a look. But the physical books are supposed to be coming in the next couple of weeks, i.e. probably another couple months. So the Kickstarter seemed vague from what I saw. But anyway, I'm just like immediately wanting to look into this. That already exists, and I've ran before, a RPG system called Legend of the Elements. Now, that one is based off of a system that's called Powered by the Apocalypse, which is kind of simply, if you've never heard of it before, instead of rolling a d20 to determine if you succeed or fail on the thing that you're trying to do, you roll 2d6, and then the success curve is like anything 6 or low is a failure, anything 9 to 6 range is like a failure, but there's a catch, and then 10 and above is a success. So there's no like necessarily natural 20s. You could always flavor like double 6 or double 1s in a way if you wanted to, as the not dungeon master in that system, but the MC, the Master of Ceremonies, was what it was. This is the most recent Kickstarter update, and they have announced that this will be on Roll20, which is great for me because despite everything, it is the system that I use to run my online games. So this is the Adamant is probably kind of like your class type deal. I think they call that the playbook. But then you have a background here, a couple different options: military, monastic, outlaw, privileged, urban, wilderness, a demeanor, above it all, rebellious, perfectionist, flippant. I really like that these are like the top left part of the character sheet. That is one thing about the Apocalypse system as well, is it's not so crunchy. You just kind of roll dice and do some storytelling. So there's training here and all the different bendings and such. I'm not 1,000,000% on what this is all about. Okay, this is probably spirit bending. And then I assume that's metal bending with that sharp angle like that. I think it's interesting that they swap these two. That earth bending and metal bending are completely separate. Maybe I'm wrong about that though. So one thing I really enjoy about having these things in the top left is that it does encourage a much more role-playing style game, which can be easier for new players to pick up, especially. Like if someone's heard about Dungeons and Dragons and they want to try it out, but they get overwhelmed by a character sheet, I think something like this really just kind of keeps it simple and gets you to the roots of like the imaginative part of the game. And then once you've got that, like you go on to the real crunch of the dice roll, if that's that kind of player, because not everybody likes to do the min-maxing and building a whole character. Like you got to get people sitting down and playing the game before they can really appreciate that part. In my experience, I feel a lot of old school, and what I see in the OSR is very like tables and different unique rules, and there are some pretty like unique like light takes on it, but it's always, I feel like those things are very game design forward, and what this is more player character forward, and it gets you just kind of thinking immediately in your character's eyes, or in your in their shoes. Pretty cool. I'm going to dig around a bit and see if I have the PDF. Aw, yes, I do have the PDF. I probably downloaded it a while ago, but let's take a look here. So this is the art. The physical one that I have, I know I ordered the Aang one. No shade to Korra. I think I originally, Legend of Korra video could be a whole nother talk about that, but I think all in all, Korra, solid avatar. The series is good. It's got its flaws, but it's not the most flawed piece of Avatar content. I think we can all agree on that, right? Breaks it down. Let's see. Sorry. Breaks it down into the world of the adventure, the heroes. You play as one of many heroes of the four nations. Four nations, the world of Avatar, of course. Fire, water, earth, air. Hot take, real shame that they never used any Polynesian nations. I'm sure I'm not the person to say this. In water, in the canon shows. Is there anything in the canon material that refers to that stuff? Because I haven't read all the graphic novels and stuff. But I could maybe read this part right here, with it say primarily split between North and South Poles. Foggy swamp tribe, always meant reference to there. Hunted down, wiped out, live in harsh conditions. Nope, on my speed read, just northern, southern. I don't see anything about like ocean faring. But anyway, definitely a thing in my game. So playing through the eras, the different eras you can play through, Korra's. Hot take. I would never want to really run a game in Korra's era. I like Korra, and I would definitely, I would run a game in Korra's era. I just have to heavily modify it. Like, I'm bringing Polynesian waterbenders. I really like, I don't know what there is official canon for like lava benders and stuff, but I always thought that was really cool. And I like the idea of, really expanding on Ty Lee's abilities in the original series with kind of what happens in the Korra with the chi blockers. Let's talk about what would happen if you wanted to run a game for people who've never really even run 5th edition or run any kind of TTRPG before. You're trying to get them into it. So you introduce the dice rolling mechanic. You agree, like, okay, so you're going to be a person from this nation, that nation, whatever. You're a non-bender or whatever. Then you're like, okay, what do you guys want to do? Or, what kind of goal, where do you guys want to start? Like, what nation might you be in? And then you as the dungeon master, you kind of like, or the MC, you take that and you try to run with it as best you can. You take the, we want to help someone in the Northern Water Tribe. We want to deal with something in Aang's era, right? And you kind of pick it off there. Or, go in with kind of a scenario in mind. So just changing setting. The scope is kind of like setting, I suppose. Oh yeah, look, and it just goes right through. To defeat this villain, to protect. So it like lays it out really nice. That's pretty good. I've looked through the DMG again to see if this has stuff like, it does have stuff in this. This is pretty cookie cutter. But I think for new players, like if you're just like, oh, we want to do Avatar, but D&D never really appealed to us, like I think this could get you going pretty quick. Next step is figuring out how the Pokemon would all equate into this. But in a couple of weeks, I'll probably be keeping an eye on that when that video comes out. I'll certainly, when I get that book, be talking about it here. So, if you want to learn more about the Avatar RPG, or you're intrigued by this idea of like Pokemon Avatar crossing, like, how would that play out in a D&D game? I have seen some content creators talk about like Pokemon, and I'm sure there's published, stuff on that's already out there. I'll have to do some digging, but, I can share some of that here if that's what folks are interested in seeing. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you want to hear more about what we were talking about tonight, then, you know, follow, like, comment, all that fancy stuff. Let me know. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good night. Talk all things Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight I come to you very inspired by something that I just saw coming across my TikTok because of a... You know what? It's a YouTube video. I probably shouldn't say TikTok in the first 10 seconds of the video. What's up, everybody? Coming